Here it is. Look at that.
Yeah, it looks nice.
It looks all right, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I think I've made a mess of it.
You put far too much Thai curry paste in it.
Way too much. But
you're eating it.
I'm going to soldier through.
And that's
I've put some yogurt in it. The video of me making it, it'll look brilliant.
Right.
So
I filmed me making this and all in sort of 10-second chunks. So I'll ping them over to you.
Yeah, perfect.
So you can stitch them together. And it's kind of Joe Wicks, you know, where he goes, oh, put that in there, put that in there, it's cleaning 15.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly that. And it said 10 minutes of preparation time on the recipe you sent me. It took me about 3 hours to do this.
Are you joking?
With the filming. No, with the filming and stuff.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Well, I'm going to start because it's getting cold.
Yeah, well, you go for it. Yeah, you go for it. I've got a small child, a young woman sorting my dinner out.
How old is she?
They are 19 and 17 now.
Scares the life out to me, that.
Yeah. How old's yours?
Just coming up for 3 and 9 weeks.
Oh. Cool, you've been doing a lot now. Yeah,
exactly. I think we were one of the first. I only got one go during lockdown. I'll edit that bit out.
Yeah, do that.
Oh, we're going live, shit.
Wait.
Hello. Hiya. Are you okay?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Left.
How are you? Are you okay?
I'm not too bad. Yeah, you look very well.
Thank you very much. I'm a bit chunky, but I'm getting there. You two look fabulous as the day you got married, so that's good. I did the photos, yeah.
Yeah.
We've
still got them.
Yeah.
We've still got them in there.
Yeah, we have.
Well,
that's so exciting.
I was ashamed. I told you about it, didn't I? I weren't happy with him. I never took a photo again for about 15 years after your wedding.
That was it. Our wedding was the end of his photographic career.
I thought I'd messed it up. I was sure I'd messed it up.
You haven't messed it up at all.
That's good to know.
That was a good wedding.
It was a good wedding.
It was a cracking wedding.
It was too good.
I think you were the first people I'd ever seen with a Cadillac, like a convertible Cadillac for the wedding car. You two were so cool when you were young. You're still quite cool now. Look at you. Look at you. How cool you are.
It does, yeah. It led the procession at Crosshill's Gala one year. I'm having that.
Oh, bro. I know you're working on Emmerdale, is that right?
That's right, yeah.
Well, you're keeping my missus happy through lockdown anyway. She loves it. It's her favourite programme. Yeah.
Oh, God.
I glance over every now and again.
Yeah, right. So do you get it in Spain then?
Yeah, absolutely. Pay the TV licence and everything.
You don't have to pay a license. It's fine.
I'm going to go finish the dinner. You
Got it.
All right, see you later. Good to see you. Bye-bye. She couldn't hear any of that, could she? Never mind.
She took it for she was hanging about.
Do you know, I'm starting to get used to this tang, this little
spice. Now you can't actually taste anything anymore.
Exactly.
So that's mine.
Let's have a look at yours. Oh, look at your peas.
So I've got sugar snap peas.
Yeah, I didn't know what sugar snap peas were. I picked some up that looked a bit like them. They look a bit like them. I think I've got it right.
They are. It will be.
Have you got coriander in it?
I didn't have any coriander. I couldn't be asked to shop.
I got coriander. I barbecued my prawns before I chucked them in.
Oh, get you with your fancy words.
Are you on the noodles? I'm on the rice.
Yeah, I can't be asked making rice. Just stick a lot of noodles in pan.
We didn't have any noodles left. I thought we did. So I had to go on brown rice.
That's good. Brown rice is lovely.
It's really tasty. I wish I hadn't put so much in.
If you'd only put a couple of tablespoons in, then it would have been lovely.
I put the whole packet in.
Yeah, we should have done that.
No.
I mean, this is spicy by my standards, and I've only got 2 tablespoons in. And
my mouth's absolutely on fire. We'll see how much. I've got a full litre and a half of water here. We'll see how much we get through.
Milk is what you need for chili.
Milk?
Yeah, milk kills chili. Handy hint for if you're going out for a fancy curry and stuff.
So is this quite healthy?
Yeah, it's all right. I mean, I never count calories because I just can't be bothered. It's boring and dull. But I mean, BBC Good Food app tells you what they are, and it's enough for one. But it's, I take the view that there's no food that's particularly unhealthy. It's how much you eat of it that's the problem. So, if you eat 10 Mars bars in a day, that's not going to be a right good idea. But if you have 1 Mars bar in a day, that's fine because you're just having, So why deny? My view is why deny yourself something that's really nice because it makes you feel happy. Have one of them, and then go off and do something, and it doesn't matter, does it? And a lot of it's, I think, people feel guilty about eating a certain thing, and it just wears your confidence down. And they give up.
It is very easy to go over calories on stuff like that, though.
It is, yeah. But if you think, I'll have a Mars bar, and then I might go out for a walk, or ride my bike, or whatever, then it's kind of 6 and 2 threes.
Because you've never been overweight, have you? You've always been a trim lad.
No, I've been overweight.
Have you?
When I was at primary school and early teens, I was a 34 waist. So when I was like, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, yeah, I was a tubby little bugger. Even though I was really active and fit and what have you, my mother used to make chips every night. And, we used to have loads of biscuits and chocolate and shit like that. And it just don't work. And then, I mean, my dad used to give me a right load of grief about being overweight. And it used to really piss me off. Yeah, totally.
So what did you change? Did you make a conscious
what
change?
Did I change? Yeah, I decided. I mean, I was training loads. I was doing jiu-jitsu at the time. It just wasn't doing anything for me. I got to like 14 and decided I was going to cut out fizzy drinks. Not cut them out, but just calm it down a bit. So, we'd have litres and litres of Coke and litres of bloody fizzy orange and all that sort of stuff in the house. And just be drinking it all the time. And it's just sugar and sugar and sugar. So I decided to cut that down.
And what age were you then?
About 16.
Because when you were 16, you're the same age as me, I think, aren't you?
I'm 49. I'll be 50 next year.
Oh, a couple of years older. When we were 16, it wasn't really a thing, was it? The sugar. So why did you decide about that?
Because I realised that it was that was making me just not get down anything else, and also biscuits. I used to have 3 Jaffa cakes and a club biscuit last thing at night with a cup of tea with a lot of sugar in it before it's bed.
You see, I've heard a lot of people talk about this, eating before you go to bed.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure what the science behind it is. So why shouldn't you eat before you go to bed? Because here in Spain, late night eating is a thing. It's what we do.
It's absolutely fine to eat before you go to bed. A supper is great. A proper supper. But a club orange and 4 Jaffa cakes and a cup of hot sweet milky tea ain't a right good supper, is it?
Yeah.
And do that every single day on top of 3 or 4 meals, snacks, all the rest of it. It's a really simple equation, as you probably know. If you want to lose weight, it's less. You have to burn more calories than you put in, and if you want to put more weight on, if you're a bodybuilder or whatever, then you put more calories in than you expend. keto diets, intermittent fasting. What a load of old twaddle that is. It's such a simple equation. If you burn more than you eat, you're going to lose. If you eat more than you burn, you're going to put on weight. That simple. So I take the view, especially now, having sort of done quite a lot of research into it from my course, I just think eat what you want and just be healthy and just have nice food and stick to your calories, because.
But calories don't always act the same, do they?
Food fuel, and I can be really boring.
But if I eat
a chemical reaction,
if I eat a chocolate biscuit that's 100 calories, I will probably absorb 95 of those calories. But if I eat 100 calories of chicken, I'll burn 70 calories digesting it.
That's the difference. So, but 100 calories is still 100 calories. And what you put in...
Yeah,
exactly. So, it doesn't matter what form it takes. You can get 100 calories of bloody lettuce if you want, against 100 calories of chocolate. It doesn't make a difference. It's what you do with it afterwards. There's no one food that's unhealthy, in my opinion, anyway. It's what it does to your body. So if you eat 100 calories worth of lettuce, that's going to really fill you up. It's going to need loads and loads of bloody lettuce to get 100 calories from it. Whereas 100 calories of chocolate, you might need, that much. So one's going to make you feel really full, lettuce, because you get bloody loads of it. One's going to, you're going to eat it. It's going to feel nice for a while because chocolate tastes good, and we should eat chocolate. It's great. It makes us feel good. And gives us that treat that we all need. Whereas it's not going to have a lasting effect, shall we say, on keeping us full.
So have you looked at, I guess you have, because it's your job. I think what I'm saying there is I've recently looked at the 4 ways that your body gets rid of calories. And one is your basal metabolic rate, mm-hmm. which I guess some people just have a higher metabolism. Naturally, I genuinely think that people who are fat are more genetically inclined to be fat.
Quite possibly. I don't know that much about sort of genetics and what have you in it. But you're right about the basal rate. We all have a fairly similar kind of basal rate, which obviously is the sort of, if you do just sit and do nothing all day, it's the thing that keeps you going, breathing, heart beating, sweating, blah blah blah. So that's what that's your basic that you need, just that food that you need just to keep you going. Anything on top of that, you either use an exercise to, if you want to burn it off, or if you want to just stay and put some weight on, you don't particularly move around.
So if you have big muscles, your basal rate will be higher, will it? You will burn more just by lying in bed.
I don't know is the honest answer, because I don't know the difference. I mean, at the end of the day, if you have big muscles, you're a bigger person, aren't you? You can be 120 kilos and be really muscly, or you can be 120 kilos and not be really muscly. You know what I mean? I don't think the way your body's built, made up, makes that much difference.
Right, okay. So then, so you'll burn fuel, they say about 1,200 calories a day, don't they? Something like that. There or thereabouts. Mm-hmm. And then you exercise, just your normal movement, you're washing up and cleaning the house and all that sort of thing. And then there's exercise on top of that, energetic exercise.
Yep.
And then, like, if you are doing weights or something, then there's rebuilding those muscles, which takes calories mm-hmm. as well.
That's right.
So those are the 4 basic ways. Is that right?
Yeah.
Have you finished?
Yeah, I have. Yeah, well, nice. Yeah,
I've pretty much done, but
that's good, lad. You got to take more. So there's a chemical reaction happens in your body, right, to make energy, and basically your body takes a molecule of calcium and combines it with 2 molecules of adenosine triphosphate, and so it becomes adenosine diphosphate, and that provides fuel for your body. Okay, I think I've got that the right way around. And that's all that happens. Okay, that's all that happens in your body to give you energy to move and breathe and do all the things that the body has to do. So all that food does is give you the energy, the calcium, which is combined with that other molecule to make your body work. That's all it does.
And there are no foods that are better at doing that than others.
Some will provide a quicker hit than others. I don't think there's better. So if I want to go off and train and I've not had any breakfast or whatever, I haven't got time to have some breakfast, I'll have something that's quite high in sugar, like a banana or something, because I know that I only want something light because I don't want a full stomach when I'm training, but I want some energy to do that. And one banana, they reckon, will give enough calorific input for about 45 minutes of strenuous exercise.
Right.
Now that's one banana. So, but if I've got a few hours perhaps before I'm training, I might have a big bowl of porridge, and that'll give me a slow release of energy. Whereas a banana's quite a lot of sugar in it, gives me a quick fire release. That porridge is a slower burn, so I can train perhaps. It might be an hour to an hour and a half between eating and training.
Right, and then what about after training? Sorry, we should just explain what sort of training you do. It's Thai boxing, isn't it? Or Muy Thai?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, although unfortunately lockdown has kind of put paid to that for the past year or so. Because obviously we can't hit each other because it's a contact sport and we can't get within a metre of each other. So I've had to change the way I train, and I've started doing a lot of HIIT training. So that's high intensity interval training, which is a fancy word for circuit training, basically, and like PE, what we used to do in the olden days. And that is where you'll have, say, 5 or 6 minutes of really intense work, and then you might have a minute and a half off, and then another 5 or 6 minutes or however long. And that for me works quite well because it kind of mimics the boxing. Because with boxing, you might do 3 or 5 minute rounds of really hard work, and then you'll have a minute off. So I do that, and I weight train a couple of times a week just for strength, and then other stuff which I don't really count as exercise, but I suppose it is, and I think that's kind of a mindset as well. So yesterday, for example, we all went out on the mountain bikes and cycled to Skipton, which is about 6-7 miles each way on Canal Towpath. Now, people might think that's exercise. I suppose it is, but it's just a nice thing to go and do. Like going for a walk, it's exercise, but it's a nice thing to go and do.
But for some people, that'd be their exercise for the... I mean, I don't even do that. I'd be building up towards doing that. So
and that's absolutely fine.
If you're so active like that, I mean, there's no one in... So if you're active like that, then it's quite easily going to reflect in the body that you've got there, especially if you're doing proper training, as you call it, afterwards. So have you any idea what sort of calories you should be eating to maintain your body weight?
No.
It just happens automatic.
I eat when I'm hungry, and if I fancy a bar of chocolate, I'll have a bar of chocolate. I mean, last night I had Sunday dinner, and I had one of them chocolate salted ice cream chocolate bar things, Magnums, that's the one. And that's fine. I've no idea what calories are in it. I don't count calories. I've never counted calories. I just eat stuff that I quite like eating, and I keep it to a decent portion size. And if some days I eat more than other days, so be it. Some days I'm hungrier than others, so I just eat it. But what I don't do is I don't beat myself up about it.
I think setting calorie dates by day is quite an anal thing to do.
Yeah, because
I don't think your body works in that way necessarily anyway, does it?
No. I think if you want to, like someone like yourself who's going to follow a regime, which I think is brilliant. I watched your video earlier, and I think that your goal setting, when you were trying your shirts on and stuff, might to a lot of people seem quite a small thing, but to me, I think that's absolutely brilliant what you did there, and it was a really, really good way of explaining it. You know, what better goal can there be than trying to get back into, you know, you've got your favourite shirt there and you want to wear your favourite shirt of all time. What better goal can there be than being able to put your favourite shirt back on and go out and look good and feel good about yourself and know that you've got that achievement to putting that shirt back on? Yeah, I think exactly. I just think that for me, that is you know, you can see all these people, all these bloody influencers on Instagram and stuff, stood there with the model, with the bloody muscles out and stuff. They won't have eaten properly for the last 3 weeks, because you don't get a body like that if you eat properly for like 4 weeks beforehand.
No.
They're all dehydrated, they're all really weak, you know, it's just nonsense. So when you were setting that goal of trying to get back in your shirt, I thought it made me smile, and I just thought, you know what, that's a really, really good. I just find it really inspirational.
Well, thank you.
Anyway, going back to calories. You know, I think.
Sorry, Chris, can I interrupt you just 1 second? Can you move a little bit closer? Every time you move away, the microphone's not quite as good.
Is that better?
Yeah, that's better. Thanks.
Sorry, I just sat back a little bit. Apologies. I'm trying to land myself up in your box. That's better. Going back to calories, obviously you're on a weight loss regime, and that's great. So, you know, you need to be quite strict, I guess, with your calorie input and output. And if you do it across a week, I think that's a lot more achievable than doing it day by day by day and really grinding yourself down into right, how many calories I know. Oh my God, I went over by 60
I mean,
calories.
I haven't looked at calories since I started at all. This week, this episode that I'm recording now is about calories in and out, but I haven't counted anything, really. I might have we went for an Indian yesterday, me and the wife. So before I went, I had a quick look at what calories are in there, and I decided not to have a naan bread, and I had water instead of a couple of pints that I'd normally have. And there's about 1,000 calories there. So that allowed me to then eat pretty much whatever food I wanted.
Yeah.
Just by being smart about it. And I don't know if I'm 300 calories under or 500 or bang on. It doesn't really matter to me. I want to live a life without being stuck in a regime, like you say.
No, that's a really healthy way to look at it. You know, I mean, not just healthy body-wise, I mean healthy mentally, because let's not forget that, you know, our brains control our bodies and vice versa, and we've got to feel good mentally about what we're doing to carry on doing it, so that physically we continue. And you know, if you're being so strict, and this is the reason why people fall off the regime a lot. You know, they'll calorie count and really grind themselves down into it. And in a lot of cases, you know, in several cases, you've actually found that people go so far that they actually become anorexic because they've got so obsessed with the numbers, and so obsessed with having to hit the calories, and so obsessed. And actually, be nice to yourself, be kind to yourself. All right, it's brilliant. Go out for a curry. Don't feel bad about it. Go and have a bloody curry, because curries are good. Curries taste good. Going out for a meal with the missus is a great thing to do, mentally and physically. It's really good for you to have that time with your wife. You've got to. Curry tastes good. The difference you made, that little tiny tweak, you didn't have a couple of pints, you didn't have a naan bread. So you could have the curry and still go about it and not make yourself feel bad about it. And that's absolutely brilliant.
I remember when I gave up smoking, and I read a book by Alan Carr, and just by me saying that goes against the book what it was saying is giving up. You're not giving up anything, because there's nothing to give up. You're stopping smoking. And I guess when you give up those treats, when you're on a diet, when you are calorie counting, all you're thinking about is those treats and how you're denying yourself. So it's like a drug addict. When you have one, you need more, and you get that rush and that release. Whereas I think if you try and change your mindset, you have a much better idea. Alan Carr wrote a book, actually, the Stop Smoking one, not the comedian, the Stop Smoking book, but he also wrote The Easy Way to Lose Weight. And again, it was trying to change your mindset. He said you can eat as much of the food you love if you train your body and your mind to love healthy food. You can eat as much as you want, which I guess is pretty much what you've been saying.
Yeah, absolutely right. Yeah, I mean, eat as much as you want, but within reason. Because if you're going to set, the whole difference between having 3 square meals a day of food that you like and having 6 square meals a day and snacks because you love Mars bars and you love beer and all the rest of it. Little, and everything in moderation, isn't that? It's such a cliche, isn't it? But it's only a cliche because it's true. Everything in moderation. So if you want to have an ice lolly, have a bloody ice lolly. If you want to have a pint of beer on a Saturday afternoon while you're watching the football, have a pint of beer on a Saturday afternoon while you're watching the bloody football. Because if you don't, you're going to watch football and sit there going, I want a pint of beer, I want a pint of beer, I want a pint of beer, and drive yourself insane.
I mean, for me on this journey so far, I haven't had any chocolate and I haven't had ice cream. I love ice cream and I haven't had any. And it's kind of brought my taste buds round. I wouldn't eat strawberries or apples and things like that when I was eating chocolate and ice cream because they just didn't satiate me. They didn't give me that buzz. But having cut out the ice cream and the chocolate, the strawberries and the apples are so much sweeter now that they become a treat in themselves. Before they would have been a chore. And I do have a shake. I've designed a little shake that I might come back to with cocoa powder and banana and almond milk and things like that. And it's crushed ice. It's very Thailand, like the shakes in Thailand.
Lovely,
and it's a bit like an ice cream. It's a bit like a chocolate bar, but it's a fraction of what it does to you.
And doesn't it taste good?
Yeah, exactly. Love it.
And isn't that the point? Isn't that the whole point that if we train ourselves to actually find the alternatives to the Mars bar or whatever, actually that just does it for me. That shake, I bloody love that. It's absolutely fantastic. I don't need a Mars bar now.
Yeah, exactly.
What do you find? I find that I tend to eat very similar things day in, day out, which is a bit dull. But probably because I kind of a lot of time for ease, because I get up stupid o'clock in the morning to go to work, so I'll have some bloody overnight oats. Do you overnight oats? Have you had them yet?
No.
It takes a bit of getting used to. So it's porridge oats basically, and I've got almond milk and a scoop of protein shake in there, and a few nuts. And then I get some frozen fruit from Aldi, and I defrost that overnight and put a spoonful of that in. And that's my breakfast. And I pretty much have that every day, just because I can't be thinking about what I want to have after my breakfast at 5:30 in the morning when I need to go to work.
Yeah.
And Mrs. gives me a hard time about it. So why don't you have something else? In fact, I just don't want to think about it. And then at lunch, I usually batch cook. So whenever I batch cook on a Saturday, whatever we have for dinner on a Saturday, I tend to make loads of it, and then I'll put some in boxes and stick it in the freezer, and then take that for my lunches for the week ahead. Again, because I just can't be asked to think about stuff there, and I don't want to use the canteen at work because it's bloody expensive, and I'm a tight Yorkshire git. And then I get home at night, and I'll have a turkey steak and some salad and some potatoes and stuff. But I don't get on till like 8:30, so I eat quite late. And it's usually, and for me, it's usually ease, just that sort of easiness, not having to think about it, not to start cooking loads of stuff. So I find myself eating sort of similar foods day in, day out, which can help because, you don't have to think about it then, and you sort of train your taste buds. And then at weekend, I'll obviously have something different. I'll eat, whatever I want. But yeah, I don't count calories. There's none of that is counted, is weighed out or anything. And I bake cakes. That's my hobby in my other spare time. I love baking cakes.
Yeah.
I can send you some pictures if you want. Yeah, absolutely. Mary Berry and all that British Bake Off and stuff. That's what got me into it.
Oh, really? Do you know, I've never watched that. I've never watched that show.
It's not as good now. It's on Channel 4. Too many adverts. And it was just really easy stuff to bake. And I used to bake with my mother when I was a kid. And it just I just thought, it's something I really enjoy doing. And it's really cathartic and a really nice way to spend a couple of hours. of just not having to think about anything, especially having done a, you know, it's like at work, you used to be a journalist, you know, you tear ass around all day and do stuff and you want to come down off it, don't you? So yeah, I bake cakes and I eat cake and I don't feel any guilt about it whatsoever.
What sort of cake do you bake?
Bloody all sorts. My speciality is meringue roulade, which is meringue in a roly-poly, filled with cream and raspberries.
So it's a full-on fatty cake then.
Oh God, yeah, it's no holds barred, yeah.
Yeah, good stuff.
And you know, like I say, just I only do it once a week. I'm probably waking up for Saturday night, Sunday night after that, and we all have it. And it's just a nice thing to go and do.
See, Alana's doing a lot of the cooking at the minute. I used to cook, and I would cook mostly the same stuff. But Alana, since I went on this, Alana's gone on doing a lot of the Slimmers World recipes and things like that, which are really good.
Yeah,
they're really healthy, cooking from scratch. So Alana's onto that, and every day she's looking on the website and looking what to cook. So at the minute we're eating a lot of different things, which is quite nice.
Yeah.
But for me, I would chuck like a turkey steak or a chicken or something like that, and have sweet potato and a bit of salad, and that'd be me done.
Yeah, that's pretty much me every night really when I get home from work, and that's fine. But yeah, you know, I was going to ask you about sort of Weight Watchers and Slimmers World and what have you, and if you considered joining one of those, because my friend Stephen that I was telling you about, who lost a lot of weight, he absolutely swears by Weight Watchers, I think it is, and they work on points. And they sort of say, right, however much of that particular food is X number of points. And essentially, it's a way of calorie counting, but not making it easy, not calorie counting. But he lost like 10 stone. I mean,
yeah, I had a look at him. We'll put a link up for him in the thing. He looks amazing. And I've got a lot of friends who've done the same, mainly Slimmers World, to be honest. A lot of them on Slimmers World. And I think it's sins with Slimmers.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Like so many sins. But a lot of the friends that I've talked to have said it's quite female. It's quite a female sort of club.
Great. Fantastic. Go over there and look at the females there.
Yeah, but in a way, men don't need that. I've set something up. This last few weeks, I've been speaking to a lot of friends, and we're calling it Fat Club.
Yeah.
And it's owning your fat. If you're at Slimmers World or Weight Watchers, and it'll be, oh, Marjorie, she hasn't lost anything this week. I mean, she's put some on. But not to mind. Next week, Marjorie, you'll be all right. And I don't think men need that. I think men want, oh, Pete, you fat bastard, you've let yourself go this week.
Yeah.
And a bit more competitive and a bit more alpha male and a bit more, competition.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's anything like that around at the minute.
It's interesting, actually. Yeah, a different way of looking at it. Yeah. I mean, I think you're right. A bit of joviality goes a long way, doesn't it? You know, as long as you don't have someone going, "Oh, I'm being bullied. I'm being bullied by these people."
Well, exactly. But when you go to the pub with your mates, 90% of that time you're just ripping the shit out.
You're taking the piss out of each other. Of course you are. And yeah, absolutely. I mean, do you know what? I think that's a really good idea. And you're right, there isn't anything for men like that. And it's funny because I wonder if that, as you're right to say, Slimming World and Weight Watchers, it's traditionally been this sort of female environment. And actually, I've men been scared to go there because, they've been scared to go to Weight Watchers and scared to admit to them I'm at Weight Watchers because they might think, oh, you know what, that's for the people who are not as masculine as what the rest of us are.
Exactly.
And yeah, I think that's absolutely right. And they say the hard, another cliche. The hardest step is the first one. Or when you go to the gym, the hardest bit about going to the gym is walking through the door and going and doing something. And I think you're absolutely right. I think that there is a real stigma for men attached to that Weight Watchers thing.
I mean, men don't even go to the doctors.
No.
No. They don't. So they're not going to walk into a room full of women and say, "I think I'm a bit fat."
You're absolutely right. So you're doing
we need a safe space, is what we need.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I think, you know what? I think we've been far too long have we been the sort of, we're digressing, aren't we? But men have got to act in a certain manner. We can't, we've got to soldier on with that stiff upper lip, and then we better go and put the shelves up, and if we can't put shelves up, then we're not as masculine as what we should be. And if we can't hang a bloody door, then we're some kind of whatever.
It's true though, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
You do feel quite manly when you put up some shelves.
Oh God, yeah. If I go to tip, I'm like, whoa, come on, love. But it's absolutely. But we have that sort of. We've got to be caring. We've got to bring up our children in a caring and sharing manner, and yet we've got to be the protector. We've got to be the DIY person, and that's a lot of mixed messages. And when it comes to the way we look and how much we weigh or whatever, then I think we're almost trained through that mindset to not have to not say, look, you know what, I think I need to do something about this.
Yeah. Well, hopefully this will move into something. You never know. I mean, if it doesn't, I'm not bothered. All this videos have done is make me accountable. I've put it out there, and there's no backing out now. Everywhere I go, literally, when I went for the curry, we went with Darcy's babysitter, and she said, "Oh, are you sure you're allowed a curry?" And there was it was my birthday the other week, and I got so many messages, stay off the cake and stuff like that. So everybody's holding me to account. It's amazing how many people take an interest in you
and feel inspired by you as well.
I've had a lot of messages saying that. A lot of people saying that they're starting on the journey with me as well. So I feel quite responsible.
I love the way you've done it. You've done it in, you see some of these things and they're so bloody poor-faced, aren't they? So like, oh, you've got to do this now. But it's not, I'm you know what, this is me. I'm going to do something about it, and I'm going to have a laugh, won't we? And I'm going to learn something, there might be a few tears, and I'm going to have a laugh, and I'm going to really try. Tell me about your exercise stuff, because I like the thing when you said, what was it? I smashed it in. If smashing it is stopping halfway through and throwing it. We've all been there, mate. I promise you. Even not regularly, but when I first started Thai boxing, I would throw up once or twice a week.
Yeah, I don't mind. I feel quite proud of. It means that you've pushed. And I've got another PT session next week, and if I throw up again, it's tomorrow actually. If I throw up again, I'll be more than happy with that. But it wasn't anything. It was literally, I haven't done any exercise for 4 years.
Yeah.
So it was just some press ups, some sit ups, some planks, bit of start, just basic low impact. Just to see where my fitness levels were, but I hadn't pushed that hard in 4 years. No. And I think having a PT, it's like that Fat Club thing. Having someone pushing you makes a massive difference.
Yeah, because there's someone with you all the time, and again, that competition, that competitive element, really makes a difference.
Exactly.
Where you're in the gym, and if a couple of you'll be going to do whatever you're doing. And if a couple of people walk in, you sort of automatically start going, "Oh, I'm just go a bit harder, a little bit faster now," and just because they're kind of there, and you want to show off a bit, don't you, I suppose. But have you ever put the weight down before you get off? Put it onto a heavier weight. We've all done that. That's standard gym etiquette, is that right? It's called putting it back to where the person was before you.
Yeah.
Doing them a favour.
Being polite. Yeah.
So what you're going to be doing for your PT regime, or what exercise have you got doing?
Well, I went out yesterday and bought some weights. I love doing the weights, really. Full body squats, deadlifts, bench presses, shoulder presses, stuff like that. I like it. It's manly, moving heavy weights.
Yeah.
I bought 100 kilograms of weights yesteray, and it took me. I was knackered just putting them in car.
I can believe it.
I used to be all right. I used to be all right at the gym. Like I said, for my wedding 4 years ago, I was pretty trim, just over 13 stone. I was doing, I felt all right. I had some muscles and stuff. And we went on honeymoon to the all-inclusive, and it just went downhill from there.
Yeah, the all inclusive is wonderful. It's just, you know, oh God, it hurts.
So I've got the gym stuff. I've ordered a little bench from Amazon. That'll be here in a couple of days, and a squat rack's coming in another couple of weeks, I think, because nobody's got any gym stuff at the minute.
No, I know.
It's in such short demand. I had to buy some second-hand weights and things.
Mm.
So I've got
Have
that.
You? I bought, when my gym's closed down. I bought some kettlebells. I love kettlebells because it's really functional. It's really good for the Thai boxing thing because it's all got movements and what have you. And I got a good set actually. I got a couple of 24s, a couple of 16s, a couple of 12s. But I've also got a band now. You know, these elastic bands, rubber bands that they are, and I think they're absolutely brilliant. They don't look like anything, but you get. I think mine's something like 35 pounds of whatever pressure or whatever it is when you're pulling it. So that's like 17.5 kilo, isn't it? And I can have a session with that and be absolutely knackered, even more than if I'd done, you know, kettlebell deadlifts and all the rest of it.
Really?
So if there's one, and you can take it anywhere with you as well. So if you go away for the weekend, take your band with you and just give it a bit, you know. So if you can get a band, I'd really recommend that. And it's a bit lighter and a bit. You might find that sort of starting out with a band you might sort of be a good sort of way to progress from zero up to your weight. If that makes sense. Another thing that I swear by is a skipping rope.
I've got one. I've bought one, and I can't do it.
No, it took me months to learn to skip.
It's well hard.
I know.
I think I've managed six in a row. I think is the most I've done, but it's usually two. It's usually two.
It will come. You can jog on the spot, can't you? Now to do that.
Yeah.
It's a similar sort of rhythm to that. So if I go on holiday, when we used to be able to go on holiday, I'd always take the skipping rope with me, just because. And they reckon that if you skip for 10 minutes, it's equivalent to running an 8-minute mile.
Really?
Or maybe the other way around. Yeah. No, I don't think so. Skip for 10 8-minute miles. So get a skipping rope and just.
Is that a Muy Thai thing? I used to do Kung Fu for about 3 years when I was at Burnley Express.
Yeah, and we're doing it.
Me and Martin would go and do Kung Fu. And then Martin moved to Hong Kong, I think, or Japan.
All right.
And so I didn't have a partner. And so the next time I went to Kung Fu, I was training with like a 7-year-old lad. So I decided I'll go to Muy Thai. So I went to the local Muy Thai and I walked in. I said, I've been doing Kung Fu for 3 years. And I used to wear I took my little Kung Fu shoes.
Yeah.
And he gave me a skipping rope that were about that thick.
Yeah.
And I just he said, take them shoes off. I kept twatting my feet. I said, can I put my shoes on? And that pissed him off. So he put me straight in for a spar with this big black guy. And he just beat the shit out of me.
You see, that is there's absolutely no. That's
it was like, come on, where's your Kung Fu? Where's your Kung Fu? Yeah. Show us your Kung Fu. I got battered.
Yeah, but Karate Kid, isn't it? It says there's no such thing as a bad pupil, just a bad teacher.
Yeah.
And that's a terrible teacher if they're going to do that to you. Yeah, it's a boxing thing. Skipping's a boxing thing. It's just about rhythm. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's it. And once you get it, and I promise you, it took me months to work out how to do it, and used to laugh at me and point at me and all sorts. And like I say, and it used to twat your toes, and you'd be like, oh God. And especially when it's like in the middle of winter, it's 2 below, bloody freezing in this bloody crap old mill. So get a thin one.
Yeah, I've got one. I've got a nice thin one in there. I'm doing it in my trainers. Should I take my trainers off?
No, trainers are fine. No, trainers are fine because it protects your feet then.
I've got a spring-loaded punch bag as well.
Yeah, brilliant.
On a spring. I just like Rocky. I've always loved Rocky, so I'll go in and just smack things. It's nice.
Adrian. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, in fact, the next video out, I've got a little Rocky montage on. Oh no, it's jogging. It's jogging this week, I think.
Okay.
I went for a run.
How did that go?
Well, I set off on a 5-mile run and then I forgot something. I forgot I were a fat bastard and I only made it to end at gate. So yeah, no, I ran around the garden. I ran around the outside of the garden. About 400 meters. That rate, but I was knackered.
Fine. But instead of going for a 5 mile run, which let's face it, we go back to goals and targets again. Okay. I both my knees are knackered. I've no cartilage in my knees through doing bloody stupid football and what have you. So over the years, I've had about 3 or 4 operations on my knees. So there's no cartilage. So there's no way I could run 5 miles.
Yeah.
But I can walk 5 miles. And what I'm saying is, don't set yourself targets that are just not realistic. Well, get on. If you get down bloody front on, are you still in Spain at the minute?
Yeah, we're up in the mountains, so we're not near the sea.
Okay. Well, go for it.
But there's plenty of hills I can walk up.
Yeah. Well, have a 5 mile hike instead of a 5 mile run, and take kids and wife with you, and it's a nice thing to go and do. Yeah. And you've exercised, but you've not realised you've exercised.
Yeah.
So.
I will do that.
And then have a nice lolly. Then have a nice lolly at the end of it to treat yourself.
I'll have one of my shakes.
Yeah.
Little ice cream.
Right. What else do you want to ask me about? What else do you want to ask me about? I don't know if I've been any use to you at all there.
I think so, yeah. I think you have. Yeah, I don't know. I forgot most of what you said. I'll have a watch back. What I'm going to do, I'll put all this out. I won't edit it, and then I'll just take a couple of clips and put them into into a show, because my shows are only like 10-15 minutes, so I'll take a couple of minutes out, but then I'll also upload the full thing so that everyone can listen along. So you're PT instructing, are you?
Gym instructor. I'm a level 2 gym instructor. Yeah. So that means that I think the difference is that a PT can talk to you a lot more about nutrition and what have you, whereas and this is my kind of thing. I think they can set you like a diet to do. And when I say diet, I mean a food regime, as opposed to like I'm doing keto diet or I'm doing intermittent fasting diet or like utter twaddle. So they probably set you a meal plan as opposed to.
Well, go on. Let's have a little. While we're here, and let's have a little chat about that then, because I am almost intermittent fasting at the minute by default. Okay.
So explain to me what your intermittent fasting is.
Well, I haven't looked into it at all, but I kind of glanced through the. Is it 16:8? The 16:8.
Yeah.
And I was going to bed at like 10 o'clock and then getting up with the kids, taking the kids to Darcy to school at like 9:30, then coming home from that, having a little bite to eat, and then going working until 3 o'clock where I picked her back up again. And I thought, if I didn't have that little snack there, I would be on a 16:8 fast anyway, without changing my habits at all. So I just stopped having that snack. And in the night time, I would have a glass of milk, but now I'll just have a glass of water. So I am doing that intermittent fasting without really trying or thinking about it.
And how is that working for you?
The reason that I decided to do it, and I don't know if this has got any validity or based on any truth at all, is because I'm pretty sure I was pre-diabetic.
Okay.
I was getting a lot of the signs that were there. I've got a tag under my arm. My eyes, my vision was starting to go a bit blurry. Plus, I was just not very healthy at all.
Okay.
So I thought, if I can fast for 16 hours, that's going to give my insulin levels a real chance at dropping and getting back to normal. So that's why I've started it. And I just haven't been hungry at all. I'll have a shake or an omelette or something to break the fast.
Mm-hmm.
And then at 8 o'clock, I'll have a proper meal, just a nice, big, healthy meal. And then maybe before bed, I might have a little chunk of cheese or anything. Mm-hmm. If I'm having a few beers, then I'll have my food a little bit earlier, give that time to digest. And I say beers, I'm having spirits and tonics and not having beer.
Yeah.
But that's basically my intermittent fast.
Mm-hmm.
but it's not a strict thing.
No, and I think that is the work. That is good. How are you finding that? What results and what effect is that having on you?
Well, I seem to be dropping weight.
Okay, good.
Not tired. I've got more energy, if anything. But I don't know if that's anything to do with the diet or it's just a result of the weight loss and doing a bit more exercise. They're all tired. It's very difficult to separate any one of them. But I feel good. I certainly I don't have any hunger pangs at all, which surprised me. Bit sick of water because I don't drink tea or coffee, so all I have is water.
Yeah. Intermittent fasting for me, I don't really understand what intermittent fasting is. When you go to bed, obviously you don't eat, and then when you get up, you need something to eat. I find that I'm hungry when I wake up, so I need something to eat. But that's just how I think you got to listen to your own body, and if your body's saying I can do this and it's working for me, then so be it. I mean, intermittent fasting, let's face it, is just a fancy way of saying I'm skipping a meal. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but I'm eating in that 8-hour window when let's face it, when kind of, if we went back to cavemen times and we listened to our body's circadian rhythms, which is, we get up when the sun comes up and we go to bed when the sun goes down. In summer, we would have a long period. But in summer, food is abundant and we are able to gather it. We go back to hunter-gatherer times and we would eat when we were hungry. In winter, we would get up when the sun came up. So it might be like 9 o'clock and we'd go to bed maybe at 4 o'clock when the sun went down. So we wouldn't have as long a time to eat. So we might only have 6-7 hours to eat what we need to eat in that time. So actually, what intermittent fasting does, in my opinion, is replicate those circadian rhythms that we should actually live by, because we shouldn't get up till the sun comes up, which is what, 7-8 o'clock, maybe sort of 6 in summertime, and we go to bed at 7-8 o'clock when the sun goes down, and we have that time scale to eat and do what we need to do. But as with the rise of the 24-hour society, that's been completely gone, and we're now having to find ourselves, as my day starts at 5:20, and I'm home at 8:30 at night now, and then and that it goes against everything that our bodies naturally work for. If you do night shifts, I mean, God, we shouldn't be getting up in the middle of the night. That completely screws our bodies and our minds. And people that do shift work that start at, our early morning guys at work start at 4:30 and finish at 2. So actually, they might be getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning, having some breakfast, and then going till 2 o'clock, and then probably going to bed around about 4:30, 5 o'clock. So their eating pattern has got completely screwed up. So I think the intermittent fasting thing actually is going back to the natural circadian rhythm that we actually should eat by, that our bodies are sort of hardwired genetically, and back to our lizard brain, that's how we should be eating. That's how our bodies need us to eat, in that hunter-gatherer sort of style, shall we say?
Yeah.
So I mean, if it works for you, absolutely go for it.
I think it is a way of cutting down the calories in a way, because if you're having less meals, then obviously you're going to be having less calories unless you gorge at those times. But I've found that I'm not any more hungry, and I'm probably having smaller portions now in the evening than what I would before. So it seems to be working.
Yeah. How would you feel once you come off that intermittent fasting? Is that something that you've thought about, when you go back to so it's a normal rhythm of a day? So get up, have your breakfast with the kids, go to school, have lunch at a normal time. When lockdown ends and we've got to get back to working again, and the regime of work has to take over, and that work is a pain in the arse, frankly. It's work and making money, which is actually screwing our eating habits, our lifestyles in general, because we've got to pay them out. So how do you think you will be able to do it once you've got to go back to work?
I think I would be able to do it because my work hours are bizarre anyway. I think I might have to change my first meal to be my main meal before I go to work, and then have a little snack after I come home. Because I do the theatre show, which starts probably 6 o'clock. I have to be in there for, and I'll be back home at midnight. So if I have a meal at 4, then get ready, jump in the shower, go to work, come back and have a little snack before I go to bed, that would probably work in exactly the same way. Whether only having a small snack at night would then give me enough to see me all the way through till 4 o'clock, I'm not sure. We'll have to see. But I don't know if I'll stick at this all the time. Anyway, I think they say that your body adjusts and you get used to your levels and you stop, that becomes the norm. So then you have to give it something else to think about to kickstart the fat burning process again. I don't know. Like you say, all of it is, if you burn more calories, that's what it all comes down to. It doesn't matter which way you do it, really, does it?
That's right. It's, I was just thinking that obviously, in that 6 hours when you're working from 6 to midnight, you're actually going to be burning off a lot of calories. A lot of energy is going to be burnt off. I sometimes think that energy is a better word than calories because there's such a stigma around the word calories. You're going to burn a lot of energy on that stage. You're going to be doing things to physically. You have a physical performance, don't you? So when you're under lights and the adrenaline must kick in, and you're going to be giving it plenty of that, and even when you're not performing, as front of house and all that sort of business. So you've actually got quite a strenuous physical, when it comes to physicality, job. So that's 6 hours.
It's quite hard work from the moment we start setting up, and it's hot, which you're hot and sweaty. I do a straight jacket escape. Hopefully, I'll fit in the straight back jacket by the time the shows come back round.
It's another goal.
It's one of the gags from my show. Now, you've probably all seen the straight jacket escape before, and a lot of you think, how's he going to get out of that? But a lot of you are looking at me thinking, how's he going to get into that?
Brilliant. You see, you've got such a healthy attitude towards it, which I think is just great. You are able to see you've got that issue, but you're not letting it get you down. And has it got you down mentally in the past?
Well, I've never.
You talked about not being able to chase Alana around the garden stuff.
Yeah, mentally, Alana's my wife.
Sorry,
but I've tried that as well. I have tried that. As far as mentality goes, I never get high and I never get too low. I'm always middle in everything, really. I never get ecstatically happy with things, and I never get down about anything, really. So I'd say the weight loss would be exactly the same. Obviously, it's a bit upsetting when you go to a shop to buy some clothes and you really like something and they don't have your size. That can get you down. And the only way to get over that is to go and buy an ice cream. And then you feel guilty and sad after that. It is very, very much like an addiction. It's very much like an addiction. And I don't think... I was listening to something on YouTube this morning driving back from nursery. And there was one of these experts who were saying that food addiction doesn't exist and it's never been proven and there's no scientific base for it. Well, you don't need a scientific base for it because everyone I'm speaking to is sneaking to McDonald's, throwing the wrapper in the bin and hiding it under the rubbish and no one can see, which is what an addict
food
does.
Addiction. Yeah. Of course, the food addiction. I totally agree with that. Yeah. Have you going back to sort of PT and what I can and can't do? Have you heard of the Eat Well plate?
The Eat Well plate, is that a graph? Is it, or is it a?
It sounds like it should be a really bad hipster band, doesn't it? It's actually it's the NHS's own what things that we should?
I think like the food pyramid.
Yeah, similar, except but it's a plate essentially.
Yes, I did it on one of the episodes a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, have you? Right, okay.
Yeah.
Because that for me is a really good sort of non-calorie counting. What foods we shouldn't be eating?
I think.
So go back to that. Shouldn't be.
It's a Harvard study one, I think. The Eat Well plate.
Right. Okay.
The NHS one. I wasn't happy with the NHS one, to be fair.
Okay.
I think there was a bit carb heavy with the NHS, but I think the Harvard one was a much better.
Yeah. It has been modified recently. Well, the NHS one has been modified recently because to increase the protein intake. Because before it was all eat loads of pasta and eat loads of this, that, and the other.
They had bagels on there.
Wasn't a good idea. Yeah. No, you can't eat bagels.
The NHS were recommending eating bagels. Yeah. Well, you can eat anything, can't you? Just not a lot of it.
Whatever the hell you want to eat, just right. That's black coffee. It's got 2 sugars in it. I don't care. I don't like the way coffee tastes. I can't have any sugar in it, but I'm not going to beat myself up about it. And I have one of them a day, and that absolutely sends me nuts. Does that? Keeps me going. If I don't have a coffee, I feel sad and tired all day long.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I've done nearly a litre of water, and I've still got quite a burn.
Do you I think I find as well. I talked about fizzy pop when I was a kid.
Yeah.
When I was until like 3 or 4 years ago as well, I used to eat loads of Ribena. I bloody love Ribena, mate. And Ribena with water from the fridge, because as daft it sounds, water's temperature is its taste. That's weird, isn't it? But if you take warm water, say that, when your mum used to make cordial and she used to open the tap up and and it used to be warm, and it horrible, wasn't it? And then, but if you let tap going for it, it's got proper cold. It tastes a lot better, isn't it? That's what water's taste does. I find that fizzy water, if you can do that, is really good. It kind of, for me, it tricks my mind into thinking that I'm drinking.
Think you're having some pop.
Corporation
pop.
Corporation, exactly. So fizzy water, I think it's absolutely lovely. Keep it in the fridge, and I can do 2 litres of that a day, no problem at all. Just another handy hint. Other one, if you're hungry, if you think you're hungry, you might actually be thirsty.
Yeah, I've heard that. Yeah. Here's the thing. I started getting healthy when I went to uni. I went to uni. Well, I went twice, but I went when I was about 32, I think, something like that. And I started weeing a lot. I was weeing an awful lot, like getting up at middle at night and having to wee a lot. So I thought it might be prostate or diabetes. So I went to the doctor and we did some blood tests and stuff. And he come back and said, well, you're not diabetic, so it could be prostate. So we've got to do a check.
Yeah.
Do you know what we do?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I know what you do. So he said, right, get up there then. So we did the check. And he said, well, everything seems fine. How much water are you drinking? I said, well, I'm trying to do as much of the 8 litres a day as recommended. And he said, no, it's 8 pints. 8 pints. He said, that's your problem. You're drinking too much water. And I thought, you could have asked me the water question before you stuck your finger on my bum. Couldn't you? So I've cut back on the water.
Yeah. I'm not surprised you cut back on the water. It's enough to make anyone cut back on the water, is that? It don't go in that way, love. It goes in that way.
I've been drinking a lot of water and it's made me bum hurt. Right. On that healthy note, we've just passed the hour mark, actually.
We have. Thank you very much.
So thank you very, very much for joining me, Chris. I've had a fab time. This has been the first time. Because I was cooking, I didn't really have time to change the graphics. I've got Meet the Experts up here.
No, we're not experts.
I was going to change that. This will be a feature where I'm eating with friends called Chewing the Fat.
Chewing the Fat, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
That's a great idea.
I think that's what we'll call it.
I'll leave you with this. I'm so made up when I saw on TripAdvisor that your theatre, your cabaret, is the #1 attraction in Lorette Del Mar.
It's the #1 in the whole of the Costa del Sol.
Well, there you are. Because I remember being out on the job with you, when we were just kids, and you saying to me, I've had enough of this photography lark. I'm going to learn how to be a magician. I'm going to go and do weddings and all that sort of thing. I'm going to do this. And you showed me a trick in your car, that white Fiesta and Escort you used to have with your fancy registration. It was MA.
Oh, a little Peugeot 106 XS.
That's it. And you showed me a trick, and I was made up with this trick. And from there, you've done that, and now you're doing this, mate. I'm absolutely made up for you.
Oh, Bill. Cheers, mate. Do you know I did the World Championships? I did the Olympics of Magic. That was quite cool.
I know. You came
second in the world.
Second.
Yeah.
You're the second best magician in the entire world.
Yeah, for a time.
Well, you know.
All the kids have come up now. It's like the Olympics. And the kids are absolutely smashing it now. So kudos to them. I can retire.
Absolutely. Yeah, so
all right, mate.
All right, pal. Thanks ever so much.
Thank you very, very much.
Feel free, if you want to chew the fat again, drop me a line. I'd love to catch up with how you're getting on, and you know. And
well, maybe we'll try this again, and
we'll try that again. And why don't we try again? Maybe, you know, a few weeks down the line. Maybe do a little hit session together. All
right, yeah. Further down the line, let's do exactly that.
Okay. I'll come with a session, and
if you come up with a session that is boxing based, maybe.
Okay.
Because I do like punching stuff, and I'll try and learn to skip for it.
Yeah. Okay. Then I'll hold you that.
All right, pal.
All right, pal. Thanks ever so much. Good luck. Keep going. Inspirational, mate.
Thanks a lot, pal. Bye bye.